All right, and welcome to another edition. We got it covered. I'm out with my boy Dominic. He's busy today, but I got guests in the building. Got LordFaded back again.
You already
coming
know
back.
what's
Got
good.
Super Saiyan
How you
and
doing?
Super
How you
Hose in
doing?
here. How you guys doing today?
Finding yourself, bro?
I'm doing all right. So you guys had a concert on Tuesday. How was that?
Man, I'm gonna let my boy Kenny start because he shut it down. Boy killed it.
Well, how you doing? I'm Kenny, or Super Saiyan. I think we did a good show. We did a great performance. The crowd was very turned for us when we got on stage.
Mm-hmm.
We got to meet with a lot of artists. You know what I'm saying? And it was just a good adventure for us. I can't.
That's certainly true. It was my first performance, honestly. So
Okay.
it was kind of like it was a new experience.
Mm-hmm.
There were ups and downs. I definitely learned a lot from it. But I definitely had time in my life. I'll tell you this: next time I wear shades, because, I didn't think the lights were that blinding. You always hear artists talk about stuff like that. Lights, cameras, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The lights are bright.
Yeah. How about you, Super Hose? How was the experience for you?
The experience was cool. I heard a lot of good artists. Some
Mhm.
people I probably want to make some music with.
Mhm.
Give them some of my beats and stuff.
That's good. Last time I was here, we had Tweezaleo and Mike in the building, and I asked them a couple questions, just to get to know them. So I was gonna ask you guys the same questions. So when did you guys start making music, both of you?
Oh yeah, you can answer it first, bro.
You sure?
Yeah, go ahead.
Honestly, I started making music last year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, about, I would say like 10 months ago, 11.
What inspired you to
Around
start
there.
making music yourself?
I listen to music all day long, so
Mhm.
that's really what it was. It's just like, I always love listening to beats
Mm-hmm.
on songs. Like, I honestly don't even pay attention to certain lyrics. Like, I just listen to the beat, and I was like, man, I could do this too. And then I just took the time, I learned.
Mm-hmm. Are you producing music or are you just you rapping?
I produce music.
Gotcha. You produce music for yourself or other artists?
Other artists.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
we have a couple songs coming out pretty soon that Super Bowl's produce. I think they're actually some of our better songs. These are songs that we're gonna push to the radio,
Mhm.
send them out to colleges, and I really think these songs are gonna do some damage. Like, honestly, out of like a lot of producers that you hear on the radio, I already think Super Hose is up there with like people like Metro. Like,
Mhm.
people might be like, oh, Metro, you're reaching, but honestly, wait till you guys hear these beats.
Yeah, I got
Wait till you hear 'em.
Gotcha. What about you, Super Saiyan? When did you start getting into music?
Honestly, I started getting into music after a heartbreak. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy because
Gotcha.
we were just talking about this earlier.
Mhm.
Like I was just trying to get the attention from somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And then I started growing a passion for the music, for writing the music, and every day, you know what I'm saying? It just became a part of me. You know.
And when did you? Who are your influences? Some of your influences while you're making music, and are you rapping or are you producing? Like Super Hose?
I'm rapping.
Gotcha.
Honestly, a lot of my influences are older, musicians and stuff like that, like Curtis Mayfield and like music from that time. You know what I'm
Gotcha.
saying?
Gotcha. That's good. What about you, Super Hose? What about you? Who's your influence?
My biggest
producing
influence?
wise.
I would say definitely Southside
Gotcha.
and Mexico Joe.
Mexico, sure.
Mexico.
Yeah.
Where's he from?
Huh?
Where's he from? I haven't heard of him.
Mexico Joe's from Atlanta.
Okay.
He made a lot of beats with Cardi and artists like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And what was like the first rap song or any song in general that like really inspired you or like really made you feel a certain way?
I would definitely say Pete Rock and CeeLo Smooth, they reminisce over you.
Wow, bro. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, bro.
That's-
Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro.
I ain't gonna lie, bro.
Wow.
Definitely
It's
that.
old-
That song
definitely old
definitely touches me. I used to
Gotcha.
be into old school before,
Mhm.
like I got into all this Lil Uzi new school kind of music.
I respect that. Definitely respect that.
What about you, Super Saiyan?
It was a lot of music that influenced me and touched me. So I can't really name one specifically, but there's a lot of music from the '90s. I have to say, a lot of beats that Timbaland produced would make me want to rap over them. And stuff like that.
Now you keep mentioning the '90s and you mentioned just Pete Rock. And me and Lord Fader have gone back and forth a couple times at work over this between the generation now and generation prior of hip hop. And I'm saying that I just prefer more lyrics instead of just melodic music that's been coming out now. What do you guys prefer, or do you say that whatever comes out you're gonna listen to?
I honestly feel the same as you. You know what I'm saying? Like the music. Don't get me wrong. Music is the music that's coming out nowadays is nice, it's fresh. But like I like to listen to something that's gonna make me want to do something. Make me
Yeah. What about you?
Sorry, what was the question again?
So between these two generations of now, the hip hop now, where it's more melodic, more more flows, like with Future, it's not as heavy on the lyrics as it was back then. You mentioned Pete Rock, and that's kind of old school. He Super Saiyan mentioned the '90s hip hop, and that he prefers that. What about you?
Honestly, I prefer the music that's coming out right now. I'm not like. When I was younger, I was into old school a lot, but honestly, like the thing about that kind of music, it's never gonna come out again. So it's kind of hard to keep listening to old school because it's like Pete Rock and CL Smooth aren't ever gonna come out with another song. You see,
you got people like Dave East who are trying to bring back, that.
That's what I was gonna say. Like people like Dave East and people like Kendrick, J. Cole, Chance the Rapper, and stuff like that. So I don't think maybe it's gonna be as prominent as it once was, like maybe at the top or most important.
I definitely agree.
But I think that with rappers like Kendrick, it's definitely staying.
Yeah, it's never gonna die.
I know you guys saw that Kendrick had the highest rated rap album ever.
Yeah, on Metascore. Yes, I was just looking at that earlier today.
That just lets you know it doesn't exactly matter if people love Lil Uzi harmonizing. It's like the people who really have a say are like, this is really what hip hop is about. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. And one of the most intriguing things is that you said that you prefer Good Kid, Mad City over albums like To Pimp a Butterfly.
Yeah, I definitely do.
But on Good Kid, Mad City, he had over 900 words per song, and To Pimp a Butterfly, he had like 500 something. So that's where you prefer like melodic flows and stuff like that over.
Well, it's not exactly that. That's not exactly the reason why. The reason why I prefer, and it's usually with most artists, I prefer their initial project. Maybe not their very first project ever, but their first kind of mainstream project. Because it's like that's a project where they have a lot of funding behind them, and it's also a project where they still have like a lot of that emotion from just making it big. You know what I mean? So it's like I feel like it's like the rawest project. It has all the emotion from making it up until this point, and it has like all their hopes for the future on it. You know what I mean? Like after that point, I feel like either they get a little lackadaisical, or they let the money and the fame get to them, and they kind of just make songs because they already have a name. Like they stop worrying about the actual content. So it's like it's always that first project that does it for me.
And I was listening to Everyday Struggle on Complex with Joe Budden and DJ Academics, and Joe Budden said that first album is easiest to make because you have your whole life to make that album.
Exactly.
And that's basically the same thing.
Like,
what were you saying?
We was it us? Like we were listening to some old Drake the other day. Were you there?
I'm not too sure if it was me.
It might have been me and Tweez. Like I wish he was here, but we were listening to some old Drake the other day, and honestly, it's better than the stuff that he has out now.
What are you listening to? Comeback Season?
I'm not sure if it was Comeback Season.
Take Care
like I think it was probably it wasn't Take Care. Nah, it was definitely not Take Care. But it was probably like
the
something.
two of you listen to Take Care.
It was not. It's probably like Comeback Season, something around there. But it was like he was still going through whatever heartbreaks, all the stuff he was going through, working on Degrassi, and just like trying to be taken serious as a rapper. And it's just like he put the most raw emotion into that. He didn't have anybody else writing for him, so it was really good.
So with that, I want to get each of your opinions on Drake's new project, More Life, which just came out a couple weeks ago.
More Life.
What do you guys think of that project?
Go ahead, start it, bro. Okay. Honestly, the playlist, I feel like it was good. He put a couple new artists on, or artists that wouldn't have got this much exposure without him. That was cool. But I do feel like the culture vulture thing. Like he always has to be a part of the new trend. You know what I'm saying? To keep himself afloat. And I feel like that's like it's not genuine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you feel like it's detrimental.
To
Yeah.
to the artist he's trying to help. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand, but I like that, like what you said, he brought out artists, because I listened to Skepta's album Konnichiwa over the summer. I thought that was really dope.
Yeah.
And he brought gigs out, and he brought some other people out that he's worked with before, but aren't as big. What do you think about it, Super Host?
Honestly, I haven't even heard his album yet.
You haven't heard
To be
it?
honest.
What are you
I
listening
heard
to?
I heard that one song with Skepta, only cause of the whole XXX and all that. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, that's another scandal. What do you think about that XXX or extension? That's how he pronounces it. What do you think about that scandal? Do you think that he's right, or that Drake bit his flow, or he's just overreaching?
I feel like to some extent he's another artist reaching. You know what I mean? Because it's like the more people feed into this, him versus Drake beef, the more people looking at his music. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Drake did steal his flow, but that flow gave him a name too. It's like people wouldn't be checking for him if they, if Drake wasn't using that flow.
Well, also because he mentioned it, because otherwise, if he didn't mention it, then people
Wouldn't have noticed.
Exactly.
Yeah. So have you guys listened to Damn by Kendrick Lamar?
Yeah.
What do you think about that? Because that is, like Terrell said, the highest rated album on Metascore right now.
Me personally, I don't want to give it like a 10 out of 10. I feel like it's a great project. You know what I'm saying? He brought a lot of the old school feel, like not from the 90s, but for like before that. You know what I'm saying? Like when the music was like the music was like revolutionary. You know what I'm saying? Like he brought that feel back, so that was cool. But it was like 4 or 5 songs in it that I really like. Other than that, everything else I feel like a little too out of my field.
What was your favorite song in there?
I have to say Love. I want to say Love. DNA, but I have to say Love. It's just it's well put together, that song right there. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha. Yeah, a lot of people would have said DNA. Have you two other guys listened to it yet, or not?
I'm gonna say this honestly, I haven't gotten a chance to listen to it just because I've been working on some music of my own, and it's like I don't like to listen to other artists' music while I'm working on mine because I don't want to take what they're doing and try to incorporate it into my own sound. It's like I want to be completely original.
So you don't use it for like inspiration or something like that, because that's what a lot of artists say, that when they listen to other music, then they get inspiration.
Honestly, I don't necessarily get inspired by other artists' music, because really, who's out right now that's honestly inspiring? You understand what I mean? Like, if you listen to certain artists, you might be inspired to do something crazy like Future and Molly or Percocets, but we're not into that. But
you don't think Kendrick is inspiring?
I mean, honestly, I'm not gonna say he's not inspiring. I'm gonna say, to me, he doesn't inspire me to do anything.
Gotcha.
Because the things I'm doing, Kendrick is not exactly doing. Like, honestly, there's no artist that really inspires me right now. Kanye inspired me probably a couple years ago, but right now Kanye's just in a bad place. He's not really putting out music. I don't really know where he's at. So it's I'm really just taking from my own life and putting it into my music.
Gotcha. That's understandable. All right, we're gonna take a quick break. Don't go away. We'll be right back.